Welcome back to Let the People Decide. This is Dan Belcher. I'm guest hosting. I am CD5 candidate and looking to put down Kendra Horn. And just wanted to circle back with you. The last segment, we were kind of going over what it is that brought us to this point as far as the tax increase, different things like that. But I also was bringing up some things about the NEA, the National Education Association, and the OEA, the Oklahoma Education Association. And what we're going to be doing, what you're going to see in this campaign is, regardless of whether you agree or disagree with me as the candidate, we are going to be the ones who are throwing light on the darkness. We are going to be the ones who are poking the bear, who are out in the middle of everything that's going on and making sure that these people are held into account for what it is that they are doing and what it is that they have done. So I wanted to go back into, I actually read the policy manual, the manifesto of the National Education Association yesterday. And the types of things that are included in their game plan look like they came directly from the Democrat platform. It literally could be coming out of Elizabeth Warren's mouth, Bernie Sanders' mouth, Kendra Horn's mouth. Maybe not yet, but what we have to understand is that the National Education Association, what is their arm? The OEA. So we have got to make sure that the people that are controlling the union, that are responsible for the education of our kids, what are they, what do they stand for? Now, that's why in the last segment I said that the Republican-led legislature, the Republican governor, whenever we had this tax increase, they had a responsibility to let the Oklahoma voter know who they were letting in the door. Essentially what they did was they raised taxes on all Oklahomans, funded the teacher pay raise, and then actually funded fully the organization that is brainwashing our kids. So, let me go back to the actual tax raise itself. They are actually, the state is boasting. I don't know if you've seen these memes that are showing that we have $1 billion in the rainy day fund. Well, that's awesome. And they're saying, hey, we got $1 billion. Where'd you get it? That's my question. You came, and I use this analogy, it's almost, they told us that what the type of situation that we were in, there was no other choice. Now, this is what? Less than 18 months ago. Almost less than a year ago. It was a $500 million tax increase. Where'd the other $500 million come from? So they're boasting that they stole our money, that they told us something that wasn't accurate and true. They knew that the economy in Oklahoma, the oil and gas, all of this was on a pivot upswing. So I want to know where the other $500 million came from. Even if the tax increase, the $500 million, actually all went to the rainy day fund, which we know it didn't. So where did all this additional money come from? Like I was telling you, I use an analogy. It's like somebody on the playground and they're not wearing any shoes. They're telling you how much they need your shoes. They take your shoes, and then you see them posting online all their collection of shoes. Why is it that we had a tax increase that, number one, is indefinite? Where now that we got all this money in reserve, where's the call to reduce the taxes? I don't see any call to reduce them. So the reason that I bring all of this up is because it is an integral part of how Kendra Horn has to be approached and has to be beaten, because if we're sitting here and not holding people responsible for the tax increase itself, you put a Republican who increases taxes against a Democrat, Kendra Horn, who increases taxes, and they look pretty similar. The people who already voted for Kendra Horn, the Republicans that voted Democrat because they were told by the NEA, by the OEA, that the Democrats were the ones that would take care of them. If you have two of the same thing, it's very difficult for a voter to vote for someone else other than who they already voted for. So if you have a tax raiser, I'm going to stick with the one I already voted for. Let's say OEA. Let's say the organization, and we're going to go over some of the principles that they have in their manifesto, and it's going to blow your mind. But if we have somebody who just loves the OEA, the brainwashing of our kids, well, Kendra Horn loves the OEA. So we have to be able to put a clear and defining separation for the Oklahoma voter, especially the teacher block, that says, hey, I thought I was doing the right thing. And that's all well and good, but sometimes you can do the wrong thing for the right reasons. Sometimes you do the right thing for the wrong reasons. So what we've got to do is we have to present this in a manner that is digestible for the people, especially the people who voted Democrat and are Republicans, because the implication of what happened and what will continue to happen if we don't undo what we did by giving the Democrat Party a backdoor entrance into the lives of our children and into the lives of the average Oklahoman. And we didn't realize we did it, and we should have paid more attention. But now, whenever we're looking at the manifesto of the NEA, I'm sitting here, and these are just right off the cuff. We've got universal health care, single payer system. We have no voter ID. We've got the U.S. Census that they want to include everyone, not just U.S. citizens. They are specifically talking about Trump and his policies and using the exact same words that the Democrats are using. Racist, bigot, unreal. But the biggest one, and again, I'm going to go over these and I'm going to show you in the manual. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that this is what it is. I read the thing. This is the biggest one, and this is the biggest danger that, in my opinion, to Oklahoma conservatives, of what this is aimed to do. They literally have a part in one little blurb that they snuck in that said that they actually endorse a publication for people who deny service to LGBTQ people. They literally want to take your name and publish it to make sure that everybody knows that you and your business denied service to that genre of people. Now, if you want to talk about doxing, if you want to talk about an armband, if you want to talk about a scarlet letter, this is in the manual. I'm going to show you this on screen that shows you exactly what it is that I'm saying. Now, I know that some of you are probably a little surprised, and I want you to take the reaction that you have as a conservative, as an awakened, as an Oklahoma Taxpayer Unite media. You understand that we are the news. Oklahoma Taxpayers Unite is the new news. So sometimes you're not surprised. Sometimes you are surprised. But imagine the people who are part of the teachers union who maybe don't know that this is the organization that they're hoping to fund, or how bad it actually is, and how close we really are to turning over the education of our future to to an organization that is essentially only an arm of the a political arm of the Democratic Party. So what I'm actually going to do with my campaign is I'm going to put out and present in a very simplistic, digestible, diagrams, follow the bouncing ball type of way. Because in this particular political climate where everybody's on a hair trigger, there is no way to get your point across unless you know how to disarm who it is that you're talking to. So whenever you're talking to people who are the teachers and you say, oh, well, didn't you know that the NEA, they do this, 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 and this? Nobody's going to receive that. However, if we do it in a backdoor way to where we present it in a fashion where their mind has no other choice but to go to the ultimate truth. So, example, you're sitting here and you're talking with a teacher and you say, man, some of these organizations, some of these unions really have some crazy platform ideas. Boom. Now we're saying, could you even imagine I'm hearing stuff like, no voter registration, no voter ID. What is this? And then you reel them into the conversation, and then by the time you have a Republican teacher, whether or not they voted Democrat or Republican, in a conversation that is saying, okay, this is an organization that is absolutely antithetical to a conservative Republican, by the time that they've agreed that all of these points are absolutely asinine, let alone good practice, now you say, can you believe that's the NEA? Can you believe that's the OEA? Can you believe that these are the people who are responsible for the education of our children? Because I'm telling you, a lot of these people do not know what it is that is the underlying structure of what these people are doing. So I'm going to leave you with one more, and then I think it's time for us to take a break. What the last part, now I've got multiple points on what the policy and the manual handbook is for the NEA. But after all is said and done, there's one more that they put in there that I thought was very suspicious, was they want to start registering voters at the high school. Now, you've heard they're trying to reduce the voter age of 6 till 16. Now, let's put the registration in the high schools. Now you catch the students before they even graduate. If you don't see a plan, if you don't see the circular motion of control of the minds of the future, then I don't know what else to tell you. But if you do see it, what I'm going to do, my platform agenda is to shine light on this and also present it in a manner that's digestible, that's able to be received, that's able to be shown to people in a way that will awaken them as we've been awakened. And that's the disconnect that you're not going to find with any other candidate, is the ability to communicate what it is, because you can know all the information in your own head, but if you can't present it in a way that's digestible, that's duplicatable, that's able to be received, then all that knowledge does you no good. We'll take a break. We'll come right back.